Hi,
interesting.
I'm the CEO of JSG Aero. We made our foray into the world of aero component manufacturing accidentally. We used to make components for the automotive sector in the early 2000s. 2007 8, we were approached by uh, what is then called Goodrich Aerospace, which is now Collins Aerospace. They are really responsible for nurturing the ecosystem largely in Bangalore, at least. And yeah, today we are a large growing company in the field of precision manufacturing for commercial aircrafts. And we work with uh, firms like Safran, Collins, GE, Pratt and Whitney. And
Thank you so much, and congratulations on the kind of progress that you guys have made. Naveen, quick introduction to your company. What do you do? And again, a little bit of how you guys have evolved over the last few years.
Uh, Thank you for inviting me for this first. I'm the CTO and co-founder of Ethereal Machines. Uh, well, basically, we are in the manufacturing space for defense, for aerospace, for medtech, for electronics. But we have another side to the company, which is machine building. So what we do is we are originally machine builders. We build our own machines, and then we use those machines to make precision components for these industries. Very young company, so yeah, I mean, we've just started this venture of components manufacturing. It's hardly 2 years old, still learning a lot, but yeah, there's a lot of opportunity. So
Fantastic, and again, great progress in a short amount of time. Rajiv, you're a veteran, 22 years in this space, and congrats as well as best of luck for your upcoming IPO. But yeah, would love to hear a little bit about what you guys do.
Thank you, Richard. Actually, just still scratching the surface
Of
of
course.
manufacturing. I'm Raji Kaul, work at Acres. I've been with Acres since inception. We established precision manufacturing. We are actually operating aerospace and consumer business. We have established India's first aerospace ecosystem for finished component out of Belgavi, where we established like 250-acre aero park, built with a complex uh, supply chain through partnerships, through vendors, and our total presence there. And we were recognized by Airbus in 2016 by awarding us Airbus Innovation Award for building this ecosystem. It's like the first time you get awarded for building the ecosystem, right? It's like a web of all the complex processes, systems, and everything. So that's where we are.
Fantastic. So maybe Rajiv and Anuj, I'll start with you, both of you. You guys have been in this industry now for almost 20 years, for each of you 20 years or 20 plus years. Would love to understand from you, how have things evolved? When you started, what was the reality of building for aerospace specifically in India? And what does it look like today? How have things changed in terms of both customer perception, capabilities that have been built over time, ecosystem like you spoke about, Rajiv? Would love to understand that from you. What is the reality of the change that has happened?
So when we started a journey way back in 2007, we met. Good thing for us was that ACUS came out of engineering services company, Quest Global Engineering. So it was born out of that. So we already had a engineering services mindset from where it was like a back and forward or forward backward we were going. And we talked to some of the customers in aerospace, and they said, "Hey, global aerospace is evolving and moving much faster because it is globalizing now. Okay, today aerospace is one of the largest, most complex supply chain build globally, where suppliers come out from every country, part of the world, building a aircraft in one single this one. So we said that, hey, we are doing from a greenfield. What should we do? One single answer they told the customer told is key is that your focus should be in country value, maximize the in country value. Okay, that is the goal. So more you maximize the in country value, more you move up the chain, and that is where you hold the technologies. So since we had a green field and we had no idea about it, so we put the whole on the paper. We said, okay, when we mean by in country value added, it means it's from the material, then machining, and our focus was components actually at that point of time, and even today it is machining, uh, machining, material machining, surface treatment, and some sub-assemblies and everything. And then we looked at what are the supply chain needed and the technologies needed. The focus was simple, like, see, we wanted to do it at scale. and we were based out of Karnataka, so our logical this was we'll do only in Karnataka and pick up an area where it makes more sense, because Bangalore for us at that point of time itself, we felt it will not be 20-25 years later we are looking, because aerospace, when you have to invest in aerospace, it has to be like we took a view of 30 years view, and we felt that aerospace was already here. IT was basically already taking away all the talent, and good thing in aerospace was 2007 was very early, so there's no talent available anywhere in the country. So wherever you have to start from scratch anyway, and best is to pick up students from the technical institutes. And we said we have to build on scale, and that was our main focus. And then it was like 3 C's. One is capability, one is capacity, and third is capital. So a lot is the capital part. I think a lot of discussion has happened around that. Now, if it comes to the capability, it boiled down to two things: technology and the skilling of the people. And then it came the capacity. So for capacity, the coming to the capability first, the technology was more driven by what is needed for it, and we early on looked at it. If you have to build a supply chain around this one, we need a technology partner, so which we got through Magellan Aerospace for special processes, and then Obedwal for forgings. Like we established India's largest closed die forging press out of there today. So around this, we built the whole web of the whole supply chain. Then other third-party companies showed up, material guys, aggregators showed up, cutting tool guys showed up, fixture, tooling, everybody showed up in the park today. So that has been our journey. Today we deliver in-country value to the extent of, from the cluster itself, we deliver as good as 70 to 80%, and some of the products in 100% in-country value delivered by partnering with the mills, local mills in India. So evolution was, that was our journey over a period.
And where did you start? When you started, what was the in-country value?
When we started, in-country value was like 25%. Machining was only in-country value. So that's where it was. And the journey has been journey was quite long, because 2007, then came 2016, building the confidence of the customer. And also we are talking about here the customers who have been, these technologies have been built in West countries for more than 100 years. And for them to get out of the comfort zone, you have to build a world-class factory. Okay, like floor, it's like you have to eat from the floor. That is the kind of floor finish has to be there, and that is where we focused on. Okay, hey, build and all, bring all new capabilities, machines, everything, and establish this whole ecosystem. Come 2020, COVID came down, it hit, so it was a big hit to the aerospace industry, and that is the largest hit industry. But nobody imagined in come 2022, 23, everybody will start looking at India for the manufacturing in aerospace. So there's been a big shift. Today, if you see, today aerospace in India is around 2 to 3% of the global market value, assuming it's $100 billion, maybe $2 billion, with a lot of system level guys also setting up who are set up here. And India today purchases in aircraft like 10% of the global aircraft is purchased by India. And I think there's a good potential for India as a country to go to at least $10 billion, 10% if that's what our aspiration is. And today, lot of capability, because in the West, the engineering, talent, and everything for that all is needed. Get into the manufacturing, and today we're well poised towards that.
Fantastic, amazing journey. Anuj, would love to hear from you, right? How have things changed?
So just to continue from what Rajiv said, even we started in 2007. From 2007 till 2019, we had just one customer in aerospace. They just wouldn't talk to Indians very seriously. I mean, there was very perfunctory, yeah, we'll get back to you kind of a thing. From 2019 to now, we've gone from one customer to 15 customers. I mean,
Wow.
just the whole world is taking India very, very seriously now. You have large corporates which are opening India purchasing offices. They have go to India desks in their headquarters, be it in France or US. Everybody's, I mean, you almost have a sweet spot today where the world is not able to manufacture precision machinings in the West because of the great resignation, just the sheer unavailability of machinists in the West. The average age of a machinist in the West is very old. People don't want to be working on shop floors there. So you aren't able to make it anymore in the West. You cannot go to our eastern neighbor for obvious reasons. So you really have very few spots globally where you can look at as a new area for you to focus on. You have India, you have Morocco, Mexico. I think we're in a very, very sweet space. So the companies which have performed, which are compliant, which understand safety, quality, delivery, then cost. I think cost is not the number one criteria in aerospace like it would be in automotive or industrials. We first talk about, do you understand the safety, quality, and delivery requirements? Because in automotive, you've gone from a very high volume, low product mix to the reverse in aerospace. You have extremely high product mix and low volumes. So how do companies understand that, get compliances, get certifications? And the biggest moat really is the getting empaneled at a customer. With some of the customers who we've added recently, we've been working on them for the last 8-10 years. I mean, they just wouldn't talk to us seriously. And post COVID, everybody came to us like as it's as if the gates of the dam opened. Everyone's looking at India very, very seriously.
Fantastic. And Naveen, to you now, obviously, one good thing is that, you've had folks like Rajiv and Anuj pave the way for almost a decade before you started, or maybe more than a decade before you started. Would love to hear from you in terms of how have customers been receptive to you as a startup, as a newer entrant in this space? What have you seen, and how do you think things have changed in the last 5 years since you've been operating?
So, like I said, we started with machine building, right? Uh, Even today, the biggest challenge in India is machines. You don't have machines in India. All the, I don't know if you guys will agree with me, but the machines that you guys are using it, you guys are importing it, right? The first challenge was that. How do you tackle that? So we got into machine building. Now, the next challenge is how do you make people trust or believe in your machines? So how are we tackling it? We are making the components for them. Now, the problem is for a customer, one is we are building our own machines. Second is we are telling them, okay, we'll give them whatever components, whatever accuracies you want, we'll give it to you. But how do they trust you? Because they look at your floor, they'll see that there's no branded machine on the floor. So yeah, that's one of the biggest hurdles that we have had. But I would say we have been able to tackle it pretty well, given that we are able to deliver the components or we are able to fulfill the demands that the customers have. Of course, there is a long way for us to go. We are only in the machining space right now. We are not in the special process or the painting or the post-processing space, which is again something that we are looking at in the near future, because that is another space which has a huge demand. So yeah, I mean, that's what we are at right now.
Awesome. Fantastic. And, let's go to the future now. We've spoken about what's happened over the last couple of decades now. Let's go to the future. We'll start with you, Anuj. What do you think the next 10 years will look like? For maybe speak from your perspective, what you've done in the past and how does that evolve in the next 10 years? How do you think things will change for you specifically?
So I think I would like to go back to the old story of the bamboo. I think we've spent the last 15 years trying to grow the saplings. You've laid the foundation. You've created a fertile environment for customers to come to you. So, as I said, we've gone from having one customer to 15 customers. Each of these customers typically increase their spend with you in the shape of a hockey stick. You have to build their trust, as Naveen just said. So you will start with small, $50,000, 100,000, 500,000, 1 million, 5, 10. So today we are fortunate to have so many large logo customers who wouldn't even spend time with us if they didn't see us being a strategic high growth vendor for them. So for us, really, the sky's the limit today. We have the market, we have capital available. We are working closely with on how to develop our manpower. We're working directly with colleges, working with ITIs and vocational training institutes. To us, really, we can't see a obvious bottleneck.
And
today.
have most of your customers opened offices in India so they're engaging with you much more regularly?
Definitely. Earlier, it was just us traveling to them. Now it's very, very collaborative. They come, we go. They have conferences, we have conferences. Uh, and just you asked me, where do I see myself in few years? We have today 2 small factories, each on 1 acre. The first factory has 50 machines. Second factory will have 100 machines. Now we're looking to open a third factory over at least 10 acres of land. We want to be able to put close to 1,000 machines, have 2,000 manpower, do $100 million sales, create our own ecosystem. We already have machining, we have special process, we have a few basic sub-assemblies, do testing. We will be India's best precision component company for aerospace. Very narrow focus, but I think the market size opportunity in commercial aerospace for small precision parts is enormous. Today we've just scratched the surface. Like even Rajiv said, they are the biggest company in India today for aircraft components. Even they are scratching the surface. Globally, you have firms which are doing $2 or $3 billion just doing components for aerospace. Today in India, you have them. You have Mahindra's, Tata's, the Dynamatics. We are all quite small in the global scheme. I think there's so much opportunity for us today. We are now really going to be making a world-class factory, a large factory, bringing in all our customers over there. And to us, really, sky's the limit. And just a firm like Accel which is known for tech, to have a advanced manufacturing summit, it shows that everyone's taking manufacturing very, very seriously right now.
That's great, and that really sounds like a very powerful vision, and hopefully it'll come to fruition soon. Naveen, let's talk a little bit, like maybe just adding to what Anuj just said, right? Would love to understand from you over the next 5, 7, 10 years. First of all, how do you see, like there's a bunch of things that will be common to what Anuj said. What else do you see as some of the challenges also that you will face personally, right? In terms of, is it more about talent? Is it more about other infrastructure? What do you think are the constraints that you have to really sort of achieve what your vision?
I mean, talent is definitely a challenge. Yes.
And talent in which areas? Even in the last panel, Dr. Somnath and others spoke about like machinists, tooling talent. Then there's of course engineering. Just let's be more specific in terms of where do you see the biggest gaps?
So there is a huge potential, but there is a lack of talent, lack of knowledge. What has happened is, correct me if I'm wrong, but Dr. Mishra, Dr. Somnath, your generation had all the talents, but if I have to look at my generation, the talent is lost. How do you build that talent again? I mean, Rajiv would agree, or maybe Anuj would also agree to that. Where do you get young operators or young engineers, young programmers, young process designers? That is something which is a big, big bottleneck as of now. So yeah, so that's what I see.
And maybe that's the model that Infosys had, right? Which is that they basically took people straight out of college and they trained them to do it, right? Like they basically, a company took up that, they basically created a university effectively to
Yes.
train people, and maybe that's the model also.
But
that
that's something that the manufacturing sector as a whole has to come together and come up with a academic platform, come up with an academic plan. How do you train people? There is no written book as to how or what kind of knowledge does an operator need. It's on ground training. So we'll have to come together and maybe come up with something, and then maybe we'll be able to solve that. That's on the talent side. Machines, as I already discussed, machines is another bottleneck that we have. We have to always rely on the outside world for that technology. We, of course, have restrictions in that. The minute you talk defense, the minute you talk aerospace, half the technology is restricted for us. We don't have access to it. How do you tackle that? Of course, at Ethereal, we are trying to solve that. We have the controller side as well, wherein we are trying to develop a true simultaneous 5-axis controller, which will not be restricted in any form, so that we are able to use that technology to its maximum potential. Hopefully, we have something on the line in the coming months. Going forward in the future, I don't know if you guys agree again. What I see in my whatever I can see is we are still doing Class B and Class C parts for the aerospace industry. We're not doing the Class A parts. We're not doing engines. We're not making engines. How do we get that talent, or how do we get that dedication to be able to make engine components or other critical aerospace components, or even in the defense space? How do we make the engines? How do we make the warheads? How do we make all of those? So that is something that is missing, and hopefully I know. I mean, I see that slowly growing. So hopefully, in the near future, we are able to tackle that.
Rajiv, for you, you guys have established a global platform now. You have presence in India, of course, Belgaum, Hubli. You have presence in France now, as well as in the US. How do you leverage that to bring some of those skills and the talent to India and some of the skill sets to India? Have you started? How do you do that as a global platform? What can others learn from that?
See, we did this. We acquired two companies, one in France and one in North America. France was with a very specific. This one, France had an engine and landing gear system. That's what I wanted to tell you. Let me tell you the overall challenge generally as an industry. Okay,
Sure.
today, if I see fast forward, we had also go backward to see that how do we get the materials approved in the country. I think that is still there's a significant gap. While forging can address, like we are now looking at partnering with Magellan Aerospace to expand our current capability to castings. Because if you have to go into engine components, then castings is one of the key components which it becomes part of the engines actually. So similarly, then there has to be certain mills who have to get approved for aluminium, they have to get for approved for steel. But one of the things I will address here, this one is that recently, it's a year back, we started an initiative, Aerospace India Association. Anuj and we both are part of it. And there are other aerospace companies who came together. It's like something similar in 80s when NASCOM, all IT companies came together to identify similar challenges. So to keep a one voice for the customers and one voice with the government and other regulatory bodies. So that will start. So we're happy to have you part of that. I mean, so it can address many of these things because that also includes the talent and training and everything. Now, coming to the leveraging of this one is that like there are the we currently what we have been doing is focusing on the structural parts, like he said, class B parts, class C parts. So there are even within aerostructure, like aerospace, if we just go from components, a big wide, like there's an aerostructure. Within aerostructure, there are still simple, medium, complex. Then comes aerosystems, which are actuation. Then come aero engine components. Then come landing systems. Like these are broad four categories. What we see is while aerostructure has been easy to build, okay, capabilities to bring in, like aerospace is typically 11,000 special processes, okay, overall to build the whole aircraft. You need 11,000. We at our surface treatment we have only 28 processes dealing with still 400 different specs. So now our focus was when we looked at is engine components, landing gear components, to bring that capability. With that capability, that is the idea. We went and acquired this company in France, and today we're working well and giving a global solution to the customer. Like we currently deliver one product called Spinner, which is on the engine, which rotates. You can see right the first part when you go and see that we do it jointly build the manufacturing technology for it with along with the France team in India and give a proper full solution to the customer. And in that, we're also working now with the certain mill in India to give 100% country in country value. And then we do a lot of complex landing system parts also, like from our forgings, we deliver wheels to aerospace. Like we do like more than 7,000 wheels per year, and that is where we leverage our knowledge from our French partners, French company together, and companies work together. Once you build integrate, key is to create a one culture, one DNA. That's what we said when we went and built this whole thing. We said it's all one ACUS. Okay, that once you build that mindset, then everybody works towards to deliver that particular solution.
Fantastic. I know we're coming up on time, so maybe I'll just leave it for a few closing comments from each of you. So Anuj, if you had to pick one or two things that you want to take you to the next level, what would that be?
I think we are at the cusp of something very, very big right now in commercial aircraft space. It's almost like we have a Maruti moment. Like if you go back 40 years, there was no automotive ecosystem in India. You had Maruti coming in, they created their whole ecosystem, and today we are the world's third largest market. I think today we are at the cusp of something like that, where the commercial aircraft ecosystem in India can get to that size. We can become 6-7% of the global ecosystem. That's a huge number. Talking of $15-20 billion, it's huge.
Is there something that you think needs to happen for that to sort of take place?
No, see, I think
Or it is just a natural evolution?
it is a national evolution. I think at the state level, we do have a scheme like PLI. At the national level, there is talk of it. But I think we are not depending on those things. We would just like all supply side bottlenecks to be eased, be it compliances or labor or energy. We are not looking for extra support from the government. Leave us be, and we will do it.
Fantastic. Naveen, what about you? What is there something, if there was a magic wand, what would you want to, for yourself as well as for the ecosystem and the industry to, really take it to that 6-7% or 10% mark, as Rajiv said?
And give us time, we'll do it.
That's easy. Rajiv?
Do it. There's nothing that is not possible.
On the lighter note, should have a patient investors. Okay? That's what
Hopefully
Aerospace
enough of
takes.
those.
Yeah, that side as well. To the investors, to the government, to the
Because it's
end
true.
customer.
See,
Now you're going to be at the most impatient end with retail investors soon.
will be patient always. See, the thing is, I'll give you a simple example. You can put whatever millions, 100 millions also, the approval process is going to be same. It doesn't matter. It's not going to accelerate. Like our forging approval took like 7 years. We had to wait literally 7 years for forging to start delivering products and everything.
So actually, that's a good point, right? About companies being capitalized on the cap table being the right structure, especially in the early days, because it takes, to your point also of hockey stick, the initial 4, 5, 7 years are very, very slow. And someone like with all the deep tech stuff that we've been talking about, it is the same, where those first 7 years are extremely slow, and then you explode hopefully over time, after that. And so you need to partner with someone who's willing to go through that with you. I think that's an important point also to all of your point. Great. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Richard.